Our guy, the Chipotle man himself, Sajam, met with executive producer Tom Cannon and game director Shaun Rivera to finally announce an at-home playtest called the 2XKO Alpha Lab. So today we'll be talking about all the juicy details in the interview, including some supplemental material that was not included in the video, what might be in it, some of the changes to my waifu, not yours, Ahri, and the new pulse fuse. They also mentioned that there will be a new character in the playtest and that they'll be available at Evo. So like obviously expect an announcement. I won't be theory crafting in this video, but I will be releasing a theory video before Evo, as well as another 2XKO video next week. So stay tuned by subscribing if you want to see who I think it is. Before we start, I just wanted to point out that all of these guys are using leverless. So hold that shit, boomer stick users, and make way for the glorious evolution of the FGC. All right, so what is the Alpha Lab? Basically an early build of the game as a whole. You know, we all want to play the fighting game, but they need to see what we think about like the experience around it. You know, games, they kind of like live or die by like how fluid the game around the fighting game kind of works, right? Like, you know, the sweats might love just the fighting game, but if like the game is like hard to play, Guilty Gear Strive, you know, it's not a good look. The difference between this and other online betas you've probably played is that there will probably be big changes, which we'll talk about in a sec. But to reiterate, they want to know what we want. It's not close to being done, so they want our feedback about how we can make the game better together. To sign up, you need a Riot account. If you already have a Riot account, they'll send you a survey to fill out, and like I got it in like half an hour to an hour. If you make a new Riot account, it takes at least 24 hours, it seems like. And if you're invited to it, you're able to refer a friend. So if I get in, I will be auctioning it off to one of my lucky subscribers for $1 more billion. And if I don't get in, well, why not give it to your boy nugieboy, your favorite YouTuber on this godforsaken platform? It's going to be on PC, PlayStation, Xbox. So I wonder if they'll do crossplay. That would be kind of interesting. Unfortunately, it's only in a few select regions. So if you're not in one, well, that's your sign to come to the land of guns, hamburgers, and bad healthcare, so you could play some 2XKO. All right, so let's talk about what's going to be in it. My guess as to what's going to be in it is as good as anyone else's, but if I had to bet, I think there's going to be lobbies. I think this game will have something like a battle hub where you can be your avatar and do emotes and like chat and do stickers and shit. I think fighting games really like this right now because it emulates the social nature of the arcade culture from way back when, a time before me. I personally would rather have it just be like a list like Fightcade or Plus R, because it's just like way less clunky. But all the modern fighting games, they have it. It's also like another place for them to generate like content. Think like costumes for your avatar, stickers, emotes and stuff for a battle pass. So I think it just makes sense that there will be a kind of a battle hub style lobby. Honestly, I think we'll see what the leveling system is going to be like, because yes, I think there will be a leveling system like League or even Grand Blue where you can like collect weapons, collect little doodads and shit. In any case, I think we'll be able to see how that part of the game works, and maybe we'll even see a shop that they'll let us use with like kind of free currency they give us, because they already said in the FAQ that data from this playtest will not progress to the full game. But I'm already thinking that we're going to be seeing that kind of stuff, right? And which by that means there will be future playtest, thank God. Obviously there's going to be matchmaking, but since this is probably to test the netcode, it's restricted to online only. There will be offline in the build, don't freak out, but this is to focus on online. There's an FAQ that said that you'll be able to run tournaments and stream the game, which is dope, but it'll have to be online only. So yeah, be sure to be on the lookout for the tournaments. I bet Can Opener or TNS will definitely run some. I will probably enter and get my ass mixed, but it's going to be a good time. But that's besides the point. Like I said, there will definitely be matchmaking, and I think there will be a lobby for casual matchmaking. But since you can invite a friend, I definitely think they're going to want to try to test how duo play works online. And I think they want to try to do it in a ranked ladder. There's been sort of a debate about whether there should be separate ranked formats for 1v2, 2v2, 1v1, you know, random duo queue. So I kind of wonder if they're going to be testing the waters on that, if that makes sense. So I also think there will be some sort of tutorial / training in the game, just to onboard people to the game. You know, you need good tutorials in fighting games, okay? And we can already see something of a tutorial in the video. This is literally baby's first fighting game step, move, you know. And as for a training mode, you know, not everyone needs to play online because most people will be, but I bet they will have a pretty decent training mode so that lab monsters can be in there just to lab their whack ass mix-ups. And I bet they'll want their feedback too. And if it's not in the game already, I'm just throwing it out there, please add the frame meter from Street Fighter 6. That shit is so godlike. Next, I wanted to talk about some of the more interesting gameplay changes. So the most interesting part of this video to me was that they changed my potential main TM Ahri. To explain, she has a resource called Foxfire that needs to be managed. She gets 3 uses of it, and basically it lets her get another air dash to extend her combos by using them. But the trade-off is that she needed to replenish them manually. So you either had to cover this with an assist if you wanted to do it in neutral. You could land a throw to get it back, or maybe you could like give up Oki to reload all of it. I don't know the exact details, but it's a good thing I didn't learn all of it because they changed this. In the Illaoi build that's been at Evo Japan and Combo Breaker, it seems she had undergone a nerf because she only replenished 1 when she charged it, but now it looks like they completely overhauled it. They explained it in the video, but it looks like they got rid of the reload special entirely. I think, which is kind of weird because I thought it was one of the more interesting parts of the character. It reminded me of Exerd Sin, who was he would either take Oki or eat to refill his hunger meter, and depending on the matchup or like the state of the game, you had to like make that decision on the fly, right? Which is a really cool design to me. In this version, it seems Ahri, she can like reload it with a special move or it regens over time. I'm not really sure. In the video, it seems like it's instant, but I wasn't quite sure because it seemed really fast, so I thought maybe it was like a training mode state or something. So we'll have to see. I'm still excited to try her out because she has a new change to one of her moves. She has like a delayed fireball that she puts on the screen, so like she puts it out and it like homes at a delay, right? To me that just screams like 6 setups, right? And again, her combos still look cool. There's probably tons more interesting stuff that we could do with the character, but I thought I'd just point that out. And based on the verbiage of the video, it sounds like they felt like they really nailed it for high level players, but they felt that for newer players it was harder to get going with her, which makes sense because that kind of happened to me. And I mean, she's like the main waifu of the game, right? So they want her to be easy to play. You know, people are going to want to play this character, and if she's too hard, I mean, like I said in my other videos, I think it's kind of cool when they make waifu characters a little bit harder to play because you like put in the work to play them. I think that's kind of, I like when game devs do that, I'm not gonna lie. If more people get to play every character at a low skill floor, if that's their approach, I think it makes total sense. Anyway, I thought this was really interesting because she already went through like a really big overhaul. For a long time I was like planning to do a breakdown of like each character's moves, and you know, I'm kind of glad I didn't because I didn't really expect them to drastically change the characters this much, even though I guess I should have. But like I said, we'll probably see. I'm definitely going to be playing her more in the playtest because I played her at Evo, you know, to their point. I felt like I couldn't really get going with her on the show floor. But I like that she had a higher skill floor that I could, you know, get used to at home. And I like that she has air dashes, and I don't know, something about Ahri just really clicks with me. She might finally be my character after struggling to find a main. Just really enamored with her toolkit. This character really fits my playstyle and it has everything. Okay, let's talk about the new fuse, the pulse fuse. If you don't know what fuses are, they're basically a way you can customize your team. You pick one and you now have access to a different system mechanic, like the 2x assist, for example, which like the name suggests, allows you to do 2 assists. Fury was a fuse that basically gave you higher damage and a dash cancel when you reached low HP, and this was suggested to be the beginner fuse since you didn't have to really think about it, you just got a flat buff, right? Well, now that title of beginner fuse has been given to the pulse fuse, and that's because it's auto combos. So they added auto combos. That's pretty bad, right? Wrong, you utter moron. Aw, dang it. Because it's on a fuse, I don't have to play with it, and I don't have to be exposed as a double tapping masher when I do combos. It's really cool that they were able to implement auto combos without it affecting the whole control scheme. When I play duos with my friend who wants to use the full, God, this is hard as fuck to say. Pulse fuse. I almost said false fuse. I still have access to all my regular stuff, so it seems like it doesn't change anything about the character except for when you press them in a row. Not sure if that'll come into play with different characters, but yeah, it's cool. I can play with them, they can use it, and I don't have to. So the way it works is basically like any other auto combo, right? You like tap light, 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 medium, 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 gives you auto combo. Medium gives you super 1. I think heavy gives a super 3 or ult. But what they mentioned is you can like flow between them. They demonstrate this by doing like light, light, light into medium, and then you get the medium ender. And the reason they're doing it like this is because they want the player to see what the character is able to do, and then, you know, maybe try it out themselves after seeing like what's possible, and hopefully they graduate to using a more complex fuse. Which brings me to my next point. Since they made it a fuse, it's balanced by not being able to use another fuse, right? So if someone uses pulse, they have access to consistent damage and combos, but they might be missing out on not only optimal combos because they're not performing it manually, but they also don't have access to 2x assist, freestyle, fury. They're missing out on sauce basically, right? I think this was handled beautifully from like an onboarding perspective and a balance perspective, and just some other reasons. Tom Cannon, he mentioned that he uses pulse to like get a feel for what the characters do if he, you know, doesn't play them as much. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated of learning 2 characters at once, but with this fuse I could like play Ahri manually, and then when she dies I can like rely on pulse fuse for my other character. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of a way to familiarize and prioritize even for more skilled players, which is, I think, is pretty cool. Let's say my friend wants to play 1v1, I can like handicap myself by picking this fuse, so I can only play like with like my basic toolkit since I don't have access to my other fuse stuff, right? Like I said, this is a really cool way to implement auto combos in a way that doesn't interfere with who don't like them in the first place, but also help beginners do cool shit, as well as give me tools that I can see being useful for learning new characters. Okay, so with the game mechanics out of the way, I wanted to cover this tweet from Shaun, aka Unconkable, and basically emphasize their communication with us and how to give feedback. Yeah, so yeah, this tweet is really cool. Bro got verified to exceed the character limit just to make it, so you know he's committed. But basically he wanted to cover some of the changes covered in the Alpha Lab video, as well as discuss the philosophy of the game and that they want to keep taking feedback. I won't read the whole things to you guys, but I just wanted to give some thoughts on some of the quotes, and the tweet will be linked in the description. I want more impact early on. Basically the way I read this as is they want to find the balance of like, if you outplay somebody in neutral, you should be rewarded for it. So it seems like they upped the damage of specials and they made combos have less scaling at the beginning. So like shorter combos will do more damage, and then like if you want to eke out more damage, you probably have to do the more optimal combo, which I think is cool. And yeah, they talk about why they added pulse so that beginners can be doing that damage as well. I find this kind of interesting because it seems like most games nowadays complain that there's already too much damage. Take Strive for example, where rounds can be like 10 seconds long, or like you're a Kuma in Street Fighter 6 and your DP gets blocked, you're just like gone, right? They said they did this to kind of address the timeouts that were happening. A lot of people have been complaining about timeouts in like the Illuminati content, footage release and stuff like that. Not complaining, but they're stating that there are timeouts. But right now people don't really know how to play the game, and like their combos aren't optimal. They're getting used to it. So I kind of wonder how that's going to pan out if they're upping damage this early, if that makes sense. I think they'll stray from TODs, but 2-touch game in a game with like nasty mix-ups might be kind of crazy, because let me tell you, I've been playing some FGC 2 on the side and the damage is insane in that game. All right, the next sentiment is that the combos are too long. This one I'm kind of iffy on because they said they reduced some of the outliers of the long combos. I personally felt like those combos were really cool. And that players that could do them should be rewarded for being able to do them, right? And since they're like pumping damage at the beginning of the combo, maybe they could like make it so that like there's hella combo scaling. I'm not really sure. I just hope that they keep them decently long, because I want a somewhat execution heavy game. Not that combo length necessarily has to do with execution, but I have this video on Marlon Pi and his UMVC3 team and the effects that it could have on 2xKO's execution specifically. So I hope they're able to kind of implement that philosophy still, keep combos flashy, keep them rewarding, keep them satisfying, allow for player expression. I hate that word, but to me it means like, you know, squeeze out more damage or go for a setup, go for something easier, stuff like that, you know what I mean? All right, some closing thoughts. I wanted to make this video just to spread the good fortune of finally being able to play 2xKO. I've been following this game since before I started playing fighting games, actually, back when it was Project L and when it looked way shittier. So I'm really excited to finally get to play it at home. I hope you all get in, and again, remember me when I don't, and remember that the game will be incomplete and that they want feedback. The playtest is going to be long. It's like 11 days. It's kind of insane. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a staggered release kind of thing, or like there's only windows, or if it's just free play the entire time. That would be so insane. if it was, and I'm definitely gonna need a lot of gamer fuel. But yeah, again, they want feedback, and please like give good feedback. Don't just say it's like dog shit and move on. Tell them, hey, I had a problem with this for this very reason. If you're more specific, it takes a lot of the guesswork out for them, and maybe your needs will be met. You know, we already know that they're taking this to heart, because one of the things I noticed, and I suggested it in the survey at Evo, was that they make the throw animation better. It went from this clunky, awkward little to like something snappier, like Strive and Street Fighter 6. Again, they're constantly updating the game, and they're hearing what people have to say. And like I said, they teased that a new champ will be available, and they'll most likely be shown off at Evo. And I'll have a theory vid on that before Evo comes around. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can see my objectively correct theory. Because hey, I called Street Fighter 6 Season 2, so I might know a thing or two. If you like this video, like it. Also, let me know what you think about anything covered in this video. Do you like the Ahri changes? How do you feel about pulse fuse? If you think it's scrubby, please say so and start an argument in the comments. Do you like how open the team is being to feedback? Or do you think they're taking too much feedback? Let me know. Also, one last time, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before my birthday in September, so that would be really, really helpful if you can do that. I've been nugieboy. Thank you for watching my video. Have a good one, and with that, I'm out.